Breaking into Netflix's top 10 most watched within days of release, Seaspiracy is a 2021 documentary released by filmmaker Eileen Chen, highlighting the gruesome workings of the fishing industry and its impact on the environment. Seaspiracy brings to light many important pieces of information on the commercial fishing industry, as well as the necessity of our oceans.
Every year, at least 50 million sharks are caught in nets. Commercial fishing was essentially wildlife poaching on a mass scale, catching up to 2.7 trillion fish every year. This has led to global fish populations in some cases plummeting to near extinction. 46% of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is fishing nets alone. 93% of all the world's CO2 is stored in the ocean with the help of marine vegetation, algae, and coral, and losing just 1% of this ecosystem was equivalent to releasing the emissions of 97 million cars.
With these numbers in mind, the film has many good takeaways. Commercial fishing heavily pollutes the ocean and devastates the greater ecosystem. Overfishing is accelerating, and that our survival is dependent on the health of our waters. But before we absorb all the information from the film, it's important to do some fact-checking. While Seaspiracy gets the big picture right, there's one key detail it overlooks: sustainable fisheries. Tabrizi argues that sustainable fishing is impossible, but this remains heavily debated by activists and politicians alike, and it's important not to completely rule them out. Professor Hilborn of the University of Washington finds that while roughly 32% of fish stocks are overfished, a number that is still far too high, there is evidence that the remaining stocks are being fished responsibly. Fisheries that are certified by the Marine Stewardship Council are among the best managed fisheries in the world, he writes, and these fisheries aren't located in just America. Oceanos finds that countries with the most sustainable practices and regulations are Norway, Barbados, South Korea, Iceland, and the Philippines. Furthermore, while the film casts a shadow of doubt over the eco-labels we see on our canned fish at the grocery store, the Northwest Atlantic Marine Alliance points out that buying local from community-supported fisheries could be a much safer bet. Despite this detail, the film makes two very correct claims. Overfishing is a real and detrimental problem, and that if we lose our oceans, we may lose ourselves. So, what can you as an individual do to help? If there's one thing to take away from the film, it's that
if you want to address climate change, the first thing you do is protect the ocean.
While Tabrizi concludes the film with a call to action for more humans to move to an entirely plant-based diet, among other policy changes, you don't have to give up sushi and seafood risotto to make a difference. If you can't afford to track down the source of your food, you can sign petitions and donate to ocean conservation organizations, or decrease your plastic consumption to the best of your ability. And in the easiest yet most necessary way of creating change, you can start a conversation and raise awareness in your neighborhood by informing others in your community and educating yourself through monitoring the news, watching other films, and speaking to new people to learn about their perspectives.